Hello, everyone, and welcome to WNY Tonight, streaming live on LCTV.net, LCTV channel 1301, and for those listening to us today on WLNF 90.9 FM on your dial. I'm John Lombardi, your host, and with me today, my guest, singer, songwriter, musician, producer, entertainer, promoter, recording artist, and all-around good guy, my friend in studio, Ryan Gentner. Most of you may know Ryan from performing as lead singer with the Chicago Authority Band, which is, you guys are just a fantastic band, and Lockport has welcomed you guys into the Palace Theater several times. But Ryan is here today to promote his new EP, Visions, and I think it's a fantastic CD. I'm going to go right to you, Ryan, because we're gonna run out of time if I explain how much I like this CD. Any other bands that you performed with?
Currently, I'm in a band called DMR. We do a lot of Motown era hits. Think of Stevie Wonder, Prince, Earth, Wind & Fire. You want to mix it with today's modern hits, Bruno Mars, DNCE. So if it's danceable, we play it.
It's fun stuff.
And yeah, that's what we're all about. We want to keep that crowd going.
Right, and your background as a musician. I mean, you've been in several bands, you've performed several.
This goes as far back, well, even before the whole band thing came into play. I was big into music ever since I was 2 years old. My grandparents were music fanatics. My grandmother was a singer on my mother's side, and my grandfather was an organ player. He put me on his lap. When he played the organ, I just watched his fingers go, not knowing what he was doing. But they graced me with a little keyboard when I was my birthday when I was 2 years old, and I just been dabbling ever since. Never really learned how to read music, but.
So you don't read music, but you perform as well as you do. I mean, I've watched you. I mean, same thing with guitar?
Yeah, same with guitar. Yeah. There's a funny story about that, too. I picked up guitar when I was 15, went to get some lessons. The guy who played was way over my head in terms of what, he didn't want to take it into the same pace I wanted to learn, so I had to back off. But come 2 or 3 years after that, I heard a bunch of songs on the radio that I just picked up the guitar and said, if I can learn this in 2 weeks, I'll be happy.
Really?
Just one song. I'd be happy with playing guitar, and I picked it up in a matter of days. And once you start to play instruments, you realize that there's a lot of similarities between all the songs that you're interested in.
Idiot savant is what you are,
Yeah,
a musical prodigy.
No,
I mean, do you know chord progressions? I mean, do you understand all? Well, then, okay.
Yeah. To me, it's about feeling more than anything else.
Well, that leads me to my question. What made you pursue singing and songwriting?
Wow. Songwriting was a challenge only because I was very self-critical of what I was writing. This was as far back as probably 10 years old. Yeah, 10 years old. I would just write anything down relating to experiences I've gone through in my life. The loss of my grandmother, heartache, different challenges I've gone through. And I've come to realize that it's not really, nothing silly when it comes to coming up with ideas for a song.
Okay.
You can write anything down. As long as you get in the habit of writing, there's going to be something within everything you're writing that's you can pick out and say, okay, I can use this for something eventually. So it's kind of like going to the gym. It's something you have to keep at in order to stay fresh with it and have it come more natural to you.
So what you write, you keep logged?
I keep logged. I should have brought this binder, but
you've got a binder.
It's probably about 4 inches thick.
From
music since I've started, taking an interest in writing up to now.
Well, that's pretty commendable.
It's getting to the point where I can't stop. I'll wake up with like 2 or 3 songs in my head.
Really?
Yeah. It's
wow.
And then it's become I don't really call it a sickness. It's like a blessing I sort of asked for, but it's now I can't dial it back.
So you wake up with these voices in your head.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, and it makes it very easy for the producers I work with because I can say, okay, not only is the songwriting going to be there, all the production and the musical arrangements are going to be in my head too.
You've already got it in your head.
And I can just walk into most of the producers I've been working with and say, I want to sound like this, and that, and they can just pound it out based on what.
And you can say yes, no, maybe.
Exactly.
That's pretty wild. Well, okay, what inspires your songwriting? I mean, is it just... I mean, inspiration is one thing, but if you wake up with this, I mean, that's not an inspiration of sorts. I mean, who's promoted you or helped you along the way? I mean, you've got family behind you, I'm sure.
Oh, I do have family, yeah. My mother, my sister, my father, a bunch of friends. As promotion as far as encouraging me to pursue it further.
Yeah.
For me, I have to write about experiences.
Okay.
It's not about trying to fit the mold of what everyone else is writing about or what's considered hit-worthy of today.
Yeah.
I think when it comes down to it, it's about connecting with people. I mean, you
Okay.
can have all the talent in the world, in my opinion. I've learned this. But if you're not connecting with people through your music, it's not going to be effective if you really want to get somewhere with it. But let me ask you something, John. Without
Yeah.
getting too specific,
Sure.
what did you do between the time you got up this morning and now?
What did I do?
Yeah.
My normal day-to-day
Gotta brush my
activities.
teeth,
Yeah,
this, that, this.
sure.
I mean, that's a song right there.
Okay.
It's context for a song. And
All
I
right.
guarantee it'll be a hit because it's relatable. Because
Wow.
other people have done it too. See, you think it's silly, but it's
No,
it's
I'm
not.
not saying that.
It just
'cause
needs,
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's just you wake up and you've got your inspiration is yourself. I mean, what you do through the day is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
Do you take notes during the day too?
Yes.
You probably carry a pad.
I
don't
maxed
you?
out my iCloud storage
Wow.
with all the notes I've written. That's probably taking up more space than anything else on my phone right now, all these notes.
Well, let's get to the EP then real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, this is I don't know if we can see it very well at all, but this is Ryan's EP. EP stands for,
Extended play.
so we've got about 4 or 5 songs on here, 4 songs?
4 songs.
And it's called Visions. So it is available through Ryan, and we're going to talk a little bit about that a little later, where you can find this. But I got a quick story about the CD. Ryan gave me the CD when we were doing some, we were putting information together for the show, and I had to take a long trip. I had to head to New York City, so I rented a car. Long story short, I put this in the CD player, and I started listening to it. When I went to eject it, it wouldn't come out. So I listened to this all the way to New York, and it came out after a while. But I'm probably one of your biggest fans. I mean,
I appreciate
you're, well, the EP's one thing, but you probably have enough material to do several albums, don't you?
Yes.
Was this your first attempt?
My first legit attempt as far as getting something really polished out there.
Right.
When I started all this, back in the songwriting days, I was very self-critical of how I wanted that material to be presented.
Back in the songwriting
From
days?
a sonical standpoint.
Okay.
Is that right, the right word?
Sure.
Sonically
That'll
speaking,
work.
I should say. And I held back because I wasn't sure as to how to structure everything. I'm all over the place, and in today's day and age,
Well, the genre. What is the genre
genre.
that you're trying to follow?
there's a mix of rock in there, there's a mix of R&B, and there's a mix of hip hop and funk.
Which I heard.
Yes.
Okay.
And you're going to get all that. I used to think my goal was to appeal to a record label, but record labels like to have packages of
Right.
specific genres, like, consistency in genre.
So you're all across the board.
I am. So hindsight, I think I'm better suited as a songwriter than the singer if I were to go really at it.
Well, you'd have people beg to differ on that because you're an extraordinary singer.
I appreciate that.
No, you really are.
Thank you.
And no, you should always sing your own stuff. But I understand what you're saying, that as you write the songs, you might be able to move them through certain genre artists.
Oh, yeah.
Is that what you're trying
Definitely.
to attempt to do?
I think the secret to longevity as a serious musician is to be able to transcend or span across different genres. I have enough materials to cover country.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah, country is pretty big in my catalog of 4 inches.
No, that's great though. That's great to know.
Yeah.
Because this
There's no country
this
in there.
EP, there's no country at
No,
all.
but the trick is to
There's
keep
not
them
any
wanting
twang
more.
anywhere here.
Yeah,
No, that's great.
but I could keep going forever and ever. And one of my idols is Richard Marx,
Oh wow.
and I sort of mimic my path to how he played things out. He went at it as a solo artist. Then when he thought he was getting phased out, he then went behind the scenes as a songwriter and a producer. That way he can dabble in different...
Many artists have done that over the years.
Yeah, and they've had extreme success. And for me, I feel like
Is that what the way you're directing yourself now?
it's not because of that. It's because of I can't lock myself in that type of creative box.
Okay.
It's like if I were to shoehorn all those songs on that EP into a country song, I'm not sure how they carry over. I have
All
to
right.
get a sense of the feeling behind the songs. The production should really align with the songwriting itself,
I gotcha.
and that's pretty much it.
That's very profound. And what I was really appreciative of the fact when I read your jacket on your CD here, you gave credit to everybody that was needed to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know Mark from Zed Records, but I've heard the label.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, and
that guy's phenomenal. He produced every single song on there, and it's very funny how he found me.
he found you?
Oh yeah,
Wow.
it's so funny. Back in 2015, I had posted a bunch of originals on SoundCloud, and he reached out to me, emailing me saying, "I really like your material here, and I'd like to work with you in at least giving a little polish in the production area. And please take a listen to what I've created for other artists." And based on
You're telling me a music producer found you
Yeah.
on SoundCloud?
Yes. From what I've learned, the two main areas, if you really want exposure, not just Spotify, Apple Music, or Google Play, it's YouTube and SoundCloud are the go-to places for a lot of untapped talent or undiscovered talent. And you'd be surprised as to how many people you get knocking on your door trying to work with you or take you to that next level.
something that millions of songwriters have always tried to do, but you had a music producer, I mean a good one, find you and wanted to work with you. And I don't know who else you've got on here that you want to give a shout out to or thanks to, but Will Holton?
Will Holton, fantastic saxophone player, fantastic musician, and he's an awesome photographer. He helped me produce all this artwork that you'd see on the EP right now.
That's very good. It's very, very good. But you know what? That's great. You're a very humble guy. You give kudos to those that are deserving of it, obviously, but you don't live your day for yourself. You live it for others, and I can see that.
Right. Well, I think we're in this together in a way. I don't think anyone would be where they are today if it wasn't for the help of other people. It's very rare that one person could be a one-man army or a one-woman army. If you have that kind of fire, but I think it's always important to reach out and ask people. There's never a shame in asking, because the worst thing that could happen is someone could say no and you're back to where you started. So you're not at a loss ever when you ask.
It's perfect. I want to ask you about, we had talked prior to the show about some of the things here, but your invitation to the Grammys. Well, let me back up first. Are you happy where Ryan Gentner is right now? You like the way things are going right now?
I'm happy where I'm at right now, but I'm the kind of person who, I have these weird dreams about me being on this ladder. I always have to grab onto that next rung and keep going and keep going and keep going. Part of the, I wouldn't really say perfectionist, but part of the pusher in me, or the creative entity that is part of me, wants to keep pushing to that next level.
Ryan, what video do we have coming up?
I gave you guys the music video for my first track on the Visions EP called Ride.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Time is stubborn, just like me, always moving forward impatiently. I'm never worried if I'm right or wrong. All I've got to do is keep going strong. Life is hard when you make it, and you know that it don't have to be. Oh, this gift, will you take it? Enjoy it to the fullest, be careless and free. Stay here, darling, just a little longer. I want you by my side. Don't think whether we belong together. Let's just enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride. Sacrifice, give and take, and see life as another game. Once you throw caution to the wind, I swear you'll never be the same. Don't lose hope when you fail, because you'll always get that second chance. Make your mark, leave a trail, and along the way make sure to dance. Oh, oh, oh. Stay here, darling, just a little longer. I want you by my side. Don't fear, act according to your feelings, never a need to hide.
Hey, you know what? We've got about 9 minutes left. I want to make sure we talk about the Grammy story.
Oh yeah.
So okay. Go ahead. I loved it. I loved hearing it.
All right. So this was
Your invitation to
the Grammys. Funny story is, after I had Ride produced with Mark out in Toronto, I found this songwriter contest, a national songwriting contest that was hosted through someone's website, or some company was hosting this competition. So I submitted Ride to it, not thinking anything of it. You pay a little submission fee, but that's fine.
Sure.
And then a couple months roll by. This is also when I'm going out to America's Got Talent in New York City.
Right.
And it was just funny how everything aligned months after America's Got Talent. I remember sitting in my car at my job. I get this call from an LA number. I couldn't answer it for some reason. So I missed the call, try to call it back. It says like the line's not in service. So I'm going nuts here. 10 minutes after that happens, I get an email from the songwriting contest saying I advanced to the finals for the rock category for Ride, with Ride. So I'll never know what that phone call from LA is, because it could have been America's Got Talent, and I know a lot of these competitions want you to be able to pick up the phone right away.
Right.
If they get a voicemail,
they go on to someone else.
Even if they get a voicemail, it's no. They have to be able to get a hold of you because they have to move fast.
Is that what we think happened here?
I don't know. That's gonna forever drive me nuts.
Yep.
But so it's sort of a bummer. Wait 10 minutes after the bummer because you're gonna get some good news.
Yeah.
But this was something that just came out of the blue. Just becoming a finalist, and then after that, I took first place. Wow. After all the finalists were considered for that last round.
You took first place.
Took first place for the rock category, and part of the prize was submissions to different distribution outlets for your music, as well as an invite to this conference in LA where a bunch of A&R reps were.
Sweet.
So I got invited out to LA, met a bunch of people, met some amazing producers from West Hollywood. And through that connection, they reached out to me and said, "Do you want to go to the Grammys?" I'll go, yeah. So, and then so the rest is sort of history. I got to experience a lot. There's a big difference between seeing it televised versus seeing it live.
Right.
And ever since I saw that stage live, my next goal is just to be on that stage.
There.
I want to be on that stage. That's my new goal.
There's reasons for everything.
Oh, yes.
Now, being in LA is a place you really need to be, or you have a good base right here?
I've got connections in Toronto. I've got connections in LA. I even got connections in Vegas.
Oh, there you go.
I'm actually, funny story, in Vegas, I actually sang some freestyling for some promoter out there who wanted to do some work. So we'll see what happens. I'm sort of having my feet in different territories, so we'll see where it goes. I think it's not too good to spread yourself thin.
Right.
As far as an opportunity situation, it's good to put your name out there as much as possible.
Well, luck's on your side too. It's awesome.
Yeah. I think the worst thing you can, it's true. I know it's very cliche, but you miss 100 of the shots you don't take.
Yeah.
So you just got to take a shot, because regret's always going to be.
It's always going to be
hanging
there
there,
if you don't do
and years from now, you're always going to be wondering.
So one song gets you a trip to the Grammys. What's an album going to get you? It's going to get you on stage.
I hope so. Yeah.
No, it really. Now, if you had mentioned America's, did you say American? Was it American Idol or was it America Got Talent? Which one did you go to?
I went to 2 American Idol competitions, 2005, 2006.
Okay.
X Factor in 2011.
Wow.
And 3 voice competitions in
just the experience
months around 2009. Yeah. Yeah.
It's got to be very rewarding to even get to that point, to get there.
It is.
What are some of the, one of your questions, which I thought was great, is what are some of the serious challenges you face in getting to where you want to be? And I think we've talked about some of it.
Right.
But, I mean, life is a challenge, and
it is.
You're ready to face it head on. You've been doing it.
It is.
Those voices in your head are going to get you to where you want to be, Ryan.
Yeah, at this point, it's challenges I have with myself. When you're starting out, you're very conscious of the opinions of others. Mm-hmm. And I think everyone gets mixed up in that so much that they're always trying to sort of walk on eggshells. If I go this way, who's going to like me? Who's not going to like me? If I go this way, who's going to like me? That's a very prohibitive way of thinking. I think that's why competitions get us so mixed up in that mind space.
Gotcha.
Because what are you going to do to outdo this person? But you do it at the cost of not being true to yourself.
Yeah, I understand it. Well, you know, what advice can you give to young singer-songwriters or those that are inspired to do the same as you?
Oh yeah, don't let the opinions of others keep you down. If there's one thing you have to stay true to, and that the one truth is be true to yourself. Always be your best self, because that's the one thing no one else can outdo you with. You know, no one, you can't be a better you, or I can't be a better you than you.
Right.
I think it's important just to stay focused as to what makes you tick, and don't let that judgmental view on behalf of everyone else sort of squander any creative things you got going on. It's there's an interesting thing off that too. I think I've discovered some of that puzzle behind 42 being the, the answer to life. So you have the 4 and you have the 2, right? It's important to make life happen for you, not to you. Right? It's up to you to go get what you want.
Right.
Otherwise, eventually, time's gonna keep chugging down, and you're not gonna have the energy to pursue what you always wanted.
You don't want the regrets.
Right.
You don't want the regrets.
And life is, in my opinion, I think it's about one thing. It's hurdles, and what do you need? Fortitude.
Well,
42. There you go.
I want to thank you for being here. It's been very inspirational, and things are looking great for you, Ryan. I encourage people to go out and get your CD or purchase it online. We're talking Ryan Gentner, Visions, and I loved it. So thank you for being here today. I look forward to seeing you on stage and many other venues and many genres. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been watching Western New York Tonight. I'm John Lombardi. Stay tuned for more great programming from LCTV Channel 1301. Thank you.